Hello, my name's Andrew Thompson and I'm Director of Studies in History and in History and Politics and History and Modern Languages at Queen's College in Cambridge. Queen's is a great place to study history and the great joint degrees that the university now offers. Why is that? Well, a couple of reasons that I think it's worth mentioning. First, Queen's is a relatively old college. We go all the way back to 1448, and if you look at the buildings on our main site, you've got a great opportunity to look at the way in which history has evolved without really going very far into the town itself. So you can look at what a medieval building would look like, what it's like to live in a very modern building, and lots of periods in between. So why is this interesting? Well, for one thing, we can learn just by looking at the gate in Old Court that people in the past were an awful lot shorter than we are now, and so we can see the impact of improved nutrition over time, simply making us taller. You can also look at the way in which we've been able to repurpose some of our buildings. So some of the original chapel now functions as a library. And Queen's also has a whole range of really interesting people who've been associated with it in the past. Close to our old hall, you can find the staircase where Erasmus, who gives his name to the largest student exchange programme in Europe, lived when he was at Queen's in the early 16th century. And if you go into our old library, you can look at manuscript books and resources stretching right the way back to the foundation of the college and take advantage of some of the things that we have to offer there. Our librarian, Tim Eggington, is always very willing to let historians come and have a look at the materials in the old library, and there's lots that we can do in practical terms to ease your transition from school to university. History is a relatively large subject in Queen's, and so along with history and modern languages and history and politics people, we have a good cohort of students who are studying with us. There's a great student history society named after Erasmus, and that's a great opportunity for people to get together to talk about their historical interests, and we have great interaction between the years, and so there's lots of ready advice on hand about which papers to do, how to approach essays, and lots of opportunities for shared learning. In the first year, alongside the general things that the college does to help with transition, we run a range of courses to help students acclimatise to doing history at university level. So there's lots of stuff that we do to support you through your time with us. If we're thinking about the sorts of things that we look for in applications, there's one thing in particular I'd mention: reading. Why am I talking about that? Well, because the thing that you spend most of your time doing as an undergraduate historian is reading. You spend lots of time in the library, although there are lectures and seminars that support your learning, a lot of it is about the things that you do for yourself with books. So one of the things we look for in a personal statement is evidence that you're interested in reading. Are you the sort of person who's gone out and in fact gone beyond the textbook answer that your teachers have provided you with? Have you gone out and explored something for yourself, maybe undertaken some coursework or a personal investigation that's allowed you to showcase us your research skills? That's the sort of thing that we'd really want to talk to you about in the context of interview. The thing that we're going to be interested in, just as much as the conclusions you've come to, is how you've gone about doing that research. How did you come up with the question? How did you tackle the sources that you might need? What problems did you find? Was it a straightforward process? Were there things that particularly surprised or interested you? So talk to us about that in your personal statement. And make sure that you use your personal statement as an academic sales pitch to us. We want to see 3/4 of that personal statement being about your academic interests. Tell us why you're a great person to do this course and what skills you've got and what experiences you've got as well. Because one of the things historians are always interested in doing is analysing evidence. So make sure that your personal statement is evidence-based, that there are lots of tangible things there that can show why you're a good candidate for the place that we have. More generally, Queen's is a good place to study history because we have a wide range of resources available in our own library. But you don't just have to rely on the Queen's Library, you have access to the Seeley Library, which is the largest open access history library in the country. And you also have access to the University Library, which is a copyright library. That means that every single book that's been published within the UK for the last couple of 100 years is available there for you to look at. And that also means that the library spends lots of its very large budget on getting resources from outside of the UK. So it has amazing connections in books published not just in this country, but throughout the world. Not only that, there's a whole range of electronic resources that you can access using your university email credentials. So wherever you are in the world, you can and have an internet connection, you can access the resources that you would be able to access even if you're sitting in the library in Cambridge. Cambridge is also a great place to study history because of the wide range of courses that we have on offer. History in Cambridge stretches right the way back from the foundation of Athens all the way through to the present day. And because the department is pretty large, that also means that the range of options available for historians in Cambridge is pretty large as well. The Queen's history community is large and diverse, it's friendly and open, and these are things that characterise the college more generally. If you'd like to find out more about what doing history at Cambridge might be like, there are great resources available on the university website and some virtual learning tools that you might want to think about looking at there. Or feel free to get in touch with us through social media or by sending us an email.